We are going to the San Rafael Swell, and the part we are going to is 20 miles south of I-70 and 5 miles north of Goblin Valley State Park. And we will be there for today and tomorrow. And today, we are going to drive about 5 hours from Salt Lake City. And once we get there, we are going to set up camp and look at stars. And tomorrow, we are going to Crack Canyon, which is a slot canyon that is 4 miles long. After that, we are going to hike up some sandstone 700 feet above the campsite. And at the end of the day, we are going to drive back home. We are now leaving for the San Rafael Swell. We are now passing by a gas station called Miller's, which is the start of the boring part of the drive. The boring part ends at I-70 in about 50 miles. We had made it to the end of the boring part, and we are about a half a mile from I-70. We will take I-70 for about 10 miles to State Road 24. And once we get to State Road 24, we will take that for about 20 miles. And then we will turn on a road by Goblin Valley, and then we are going to go on that road for about 5 miles. Up ahead is the turnoff for San Rafael Swell, and we are going to go about a half a mile past where you turn for Goblin Valley. We had made it to the campsite for tonight. The campsite is about a half a mile from the turnoff to Goblin Valley State Park. There are also really good stars out tonight. You can also see the Milky Way really good too. We are done looking at stars, and I have a fact to give about tonight. At about 2 in the morning tonight is the winter solstice, and exactly at this time is when the Earth will start tilting back to the north. Today, we are going to Crack Canyon, and the temperature is about 27 degrees. It is extremely cold. And before we go to Crack Canyon, we are going to go climb those rocks. We had made it to the top of the rock climb. There is a survey marker up here, which is really weird because this rock is unnamed. There is also a really good view from up here. You can see Goblin Valley and the Henley Mountains, and down there is our campsite. We are now going to that wall just below us, and once we get there, we will turn around and head back to the campsite. We had made it to the wall, and now we're gonna start heading back. We are done climbing the rocks. The rocks were very hard in some sections. I almost fell in one section. This section was about a 5-foot drop, and it was right before the end. We are done flying the drone, and now we are going to Crack Canyon. The drive to Crack Canyon is about 10 miles from here on a road called Behind the Reef Road, and you must have a vehicle that can handle harsh dirt roads to drive on it. We had made it to the Crack Canyon trailhead. The final part of the road is very hard because there are big rocks in the middle of the road, and those rocks are hard to get around. We are now starting our hike to Crack Canyon. We had made it to the first slot canyon-like feature of this hike. This part is not the most interesting though. In about a half a mile, there are obstacles such as big drops and hard climbs ahead. We had made it to the interesting part of the slot canyon now. The canyon should be like this for the rest of the way, and the hard part is already starting. You can't see it, but there is a log right below us that you have to walk on to get down into the canyon. Right here is one of the big drops I was talking about earlier, and to get down, you have to jump about 5 feet. This is as far as we're gonna go because there's some water ahead. It is also very cold out and we don't want to get wet. Also, we have come about 2 miles from the trailhead. We are now heading back. We had made it back to the trailhead now, and the hike was 4 miles round trip, and it took 3 hours. Also, it was really hard, but it was really fun navigating through those rocks. We are now heading back to the campsite, and once we get back, we are going to climb the other set of rocks I talked about in the intro. Also, I flew the drone over those rocks this morning. We had made it back to the campsite, and now we're gonna go climb those rocks. We had made it to the top of the first rock point, and there already is a good view from up here. You can see our campsite and the rocks we climbed earlier today. We are now going to go to those 4 rock points in the distance, and then we are going to turn around. We had made it to the top of one of the rock points, and now you can see the yellow tree really good. We had made it to the top of the highest rock point, and you have a really good view from up here. And we are about 700 feet above the campsite. You can also see out in the desert really far too. We are now heading down. We had made it back to the trailhead, and this hike was 1.75 miles long, and it climbed 700 feet, and now we are going to drive home. We are now leaving from our campsite. We had made it back, and this will be the end of the video.